So I don't know. I mean, part of it is like you said, is they already released the schedule, just not the order. So it kind of takes that down a little bit. But I like all the social media teams doing things, and of course this year there's a little bit of a interest in, okay, what's the primetime games? Who's getting Thursday night games? Because they took out what was used to be the rules to have everybody get a primetime game, get a Thursday night game, and unfortunately for my Cardinals, that means they don't get anything, which is fair enough. But it's not great, obviously, from that standpoint. And that's what I'm kind of interested in, because we always talk about the NFL being a league that just kind of does a pretty good job. There's some franchises that can't get out of their own way, but does a pretty good job of making things pretty even and having a lot of parity in it from year to year. You always see a worst to first. We always see generally a Super Bowl team that doesn't make a return to the playoffs. So there's a lot of parity in it, and it just intrigues me that they're kind of going away from this equality method of at least exposure in the NFL.
Teams can now play 2 Thursday night games, which I don't love. My Colts,
they don't love.
No,
sure.
They don't love them. They haven't played one at home since like 2015, which is far too long. I think that's also too many Thursday night games. Like, just put each team on one.
Yeah.
Maybe one or two that have 2, but that should be that. There are 4 teams, Bach, that are getting 6 primetime games.
Yeah.
Can you name them?
I do not know. I've not seen the list, but I might be able to name them anyways. Are the Eagles? Are the Eagles in there?
It is not the Eagles.
Not the Eagles. See, that's surprising. You'd be interested in them. Let's go with. Let's try to think of the Dolphins are probably in there.
Not the Dolphins.
No, the Dolphins. The Dolphins got sent to what? Germany, and they've got all sorts of things going on.
Yeah.
So there's that. Chiefs, without a doubt.
Yep, Chiefs are in there.
Chiefs are in there. Man, it should be easier probably for me to put this together. Oh man.
You got one more in the AFC West.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Chargers.
It is the Chargers.
Okay.
One more AFC and one NFC.
Are the Cowboys?
It is the Cowboys.
The America's
3 out of
team.
4.
That makes sense. In an AFC team?
Yep.
Bengals.
Not the Bengals.
Not the Bengals.
Not the Bengals.
It'd be interesting. I'd go like the Bengals. Let's see. I don't know. I'm going to sit here and think too long.
AFC East?
AFC East. Bills?
It's the Bills.
It's the Bills. Okay, yeah, they're interesting. Fair enough.
Those are the big draws, according to the NFL. You get the defending Super Bowl champions, you get America's team, and then you get the Chargers for some reason.
It's kind of thrown in there.
And the Bills. Okay, cool. Good for those teams. Those will be the ones you see in primetime the most. Week 1, though, the NFL is starting out great. The Monday night game is the last game of week 1. Might be the most interesting. You get the Bills and the Jets. You get Josh Allen. You get Aaron Rodgers' debut in New York. The Thursday night game. This is the one I thought they were going to make Chiefs-Eagles. I thought they had to, play, but I guess they just have to feature one of the teams in the Super Bowl. The Lions and the Chiefs. What do you make of the Lions getting that Thursday night billing?
I mean, it's good for the Lions, and they finished off strong. They ruined the Packers' season as far as making the playoffs. Who knows what that would have bled over with Aaron Rodgers? Probably not, but you never know. I don't love it. I know Nick's a Lions fan. I know some Lions fans out there. It is a tradition of mine, of course, along with everybody, to watch them lose on Thanksgiving. So they've kind of already carved out a spot for me. But do I need to see Jared Goff in the Lions week 1? Not necessarily. I mean, not for the opening of the season. It does. It's a little bit underwhelming for the opening of the NFL season. I mean, you have to say, but of course it is the Chiefs, which is the complete opposite of that, than probably the number 1 draw of eyes.
Right. 2 more really good week 1 matchups that involve NFC East teams. You get Cowboys and Giants. Both teams make the playoffs in the NFC last year. Then you have Eagles and Patriots in the rematch of the Philly Special Super Bowl. Do you prefer one of those 2 games?
I'd probably go Eagles and Patriots just because I'm a little more interested in what's going on there. But again, it's the same kind of thing. I don't know what the expectation is with the Patriots anymore. I mean, you still have Belichick. But I think the just automatic, they're going to be good then type of situation kind of has worn off now. Kind of see them as maybe a 500 type of team. But they're always interesting, I suppose, just because we're used to them being so good. But yeah, I mean, I think there's, within your own fandom. I mean, you'll be excited about week one way or the other. But yeah, I think Dallas and the Giants is for Sunday night. That's got intrigue regardless. So I'd probably actually lean that way.
Where are you at with your Cardinals schedule?
I'm again not too happy because they didn't give them any primetime games. They didn't give them any Thursday night games. So the Cardinals are just kind of be background noise. And the problem is that their team is already kind of set up that way. Kyler Murray is going to be out for the first half of the year probably. So I mean, unfortunately for Cardinals fans, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of in that spot of like, does this team realistically have a chance to compete? Probably not. Would they be better off getting a high draft pick next year? Yeah, but usually you're kind of thinking from there, you're going to take the big quarterback that's going to change your franchise. With Murray only getting half a year, probably not going to come to a conclusion on there. So it's a very, very strange spot to be in. I suppose it's always weird, especially late in the year. If you do have draft positioning, you start to kind of turn on your team a little bit. I won't turn on them right away, but it might not take too many games before I think, maybe we'll just go for a draft pick. And then the other thing is the Cardinals haven't always drafted well for the top end, so it's nothing guaranteed there either.
Did you like their draft this year? New GM.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like what they're starting to put together. But it does kind of feel like the rebuild. It's kind of weird because that kind of felt like the way they're going, and then they're stuck with the Hopkins thing. Which kind of leaves you in between two paths there. So, I mean, they they traded down. They got a first round pick next year. So I'm kind of hoping the Texans continue to struggle, so the Cardinals can get 2 of the top picks next season. And then whether they need a quarterback or not, maybe they'll take one because they have an insurance pick there, or you got plenty of capital to move around. And they did that again in I think it was one of the second or third round as well. So they're just kind of collecting draft capital again, more of a long-term build type of move, which was strange because it was the very day before and the day of the NFL draft that it was let it be known that DeAndre Hopkins isn't getting traded. And he sat out the first 6 games last year because of PEDs, I believe, and he's done all right. I mean, he's still a great wide receiver. It just again, it's honestly, it's very strange. I don't know what to make of this Cardinals season. It's just kind of there.
Fair enough. So let's stick in Phoenix, but switch over to basketball. The Suns get blitzed, absolutely destroyed by the Denver Nuggets. They are down by 30 at half. It's one thing if it's, 60-30 and you say, oh, our offense played really poorly. It won't play that poorly again. We can bounce back. It was the defense. They gave up 81 first half points to the Denver Nuggets. The Suns bow out in 6. I still like the Suns' top end talent better, the combination of Devin Booker and Kevin Durant than I did Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, who was sick going into that game. But clearly it was the team over the stars last night with the Nuggets taking down the Suns. What do you make of that now? 2 years in a row, the Suns lose in the Western Conference semis in 6 games to a honestly, in some ways, lesser team.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you kind of just look at the best guy on the floor and you work, maybe that can kind of take over. Jokic averaged a triple-double in this series, over 30 points per game. That's going to be hard to stop from a guy that's a 2-time MVP, could have an argument for a third one this year. And the Suns were somewhat beat up, of course, the series. DeAndre Ayton and CP3 both sitting out last night. So it's not a full strength type of thing. I'm always interested in how teams react to this. Again, kind of going back to Milwaukee, if the Heat make the championship round, or if they win the championship, how silly do you kind of look firing Budenholzer? I know it's an 8 versus a 1, but it was the Heat. We already know that they can make a run. Mm-hmm. And here they are doing so. So I always look for overreactions. I mean, Boston, if you heard the Cowherd trade proposal yesterday, because Boston's down in the series, he just wants to break up. The only 2 teammates are in the first and second team of all NBA. It's just crazy how fans and media can overreact, but also GMs and front offices. And I'm interested where they go with the Suns. Obviously, CP3 has won everywhere he's gone, but not won the big one. And, I hear people say, yeah, I mean, he really deserves it, so I'm really cheering for him. Well, in some way, and it's just the way that reality played out, he is among the people that mostly doesn't deserve it, because he's played in so many playoff games, been on so many runs, been on so many good teams. And so in some ways he doesn't deserve it the most. I'm interested to see what they do there. I can't say that I ever necessarily cheer for Kevin Durant because of his move to the Warriors. That kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. So I mean, it's still there's still that question out there, and some people just depends on how you want to shape your own narrative. But in my mind, if he doesn't win one without the Warriors, they won without him. It's not a great look. But Booker's got years to go. They've got a decent team around him. That I think that, like you said, the better team type of thing needs to be worked around. And in this series, it kind of was true. What was said by your guest the other day from the old Bad Boys Pistons. They just don't have the bigs to throw at Nikola Jokic. And I'm intrigued to see kind of where the series goes because or where the next series goes. Obviously, I'm cheering for the Celtics. I'm a Celtics fan, but I would not mind Joel versus Nikola in the finals. And we talk about this era of 3-point basketball and spreading the floor out, and the big man has taken over the MVP race year after year, and maybe it'll start bleeding over into the championships as well.
Bam versus Jokic would also be fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate that. I'm curious to see how the West plays out first, though, because you still have Game 7 the Game 6 between the Lakers and the Warriors. That's coming up tonight. Game 6 Clay is a thing. It's real. He's been there, done that a bajillion times, but he has really struggled lately. To me, it's keep the ball in Steph Curry's hands as much as you can for the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Obviously, Jordan Poole's struggling really bad. The team's just not hitting on all cylinders where they're at, but they're a tough team to knock out. And that's what's so fun about that series is, all the battles that we've seen between LeBron and Steph for the championships in the past. And some of those series were one-sided, lopsided because of the teammates around LeBron. And some of them, he was able to overcome that and make a heck of a series out of it. This time, obviously, both teams pretty well put together, but like you're saying, just the Warriors not necessarily hitting on all cylinders right now. We all know that if Clay can get going, and Steph is playing, which he's been playing really well, whether it be passing the ball or just putting up shots. That's an almost unstoppable combination. So, I understand the 3-1 deficit. That's difficult. The Lakers are going to have Game 7 at home if they need it, right? So,
no,
or the opposite way, right? Yeah.
6-7.
So then, that puts pressures on Game 6. That was kind of the Philadelphia situation last night where, the home court advantage will help out in Game 7. So, in both those situations too, how do teams kind of respond in Game 7? Do you feel like you gave up your best opportunity in Game 6?
That's just it. Philadelphia very well might have, because Jason Tatum's not going 5-21 again.
No.
That was a bad performance through, honestly, the first, what would that be if I can do math? Like 41 minutes.
Yes.
The last half of the fourth quarter, he took over. 16 points in the fourth of his 19 for the game. You and I are both mutual admirers of Jason Tatum.
That's
we
right.
Appreciate him. To me, Game 7 is going to be huge for his legacy. I know he's taken the Celtics to the finals. He did that last year. But after as rough as he played, he's got to step up in Game 7 and say, yeah, that was the aberration. I'm here. This is my team. We're doing this.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jason Tatum, and he made his first team All-NBA this year, second time in his career. He is one of the better players in the nation, in the world, as he said last night. He has these games from time to time where he goes 0 for 11. And last night was the worst of his career. I think, starting 1 for 13 or whatever it was, like literally the worst of his career, and what was one of the biggest spots in his career. He did this one time in an opening game of the NBA one year where it kind of frightened me. It was like, is this what happened over the offseason? So he has these times where as a superstar he'll kind of disappear, and that's where it's very helpful to have a Jaylen Brown, to have a Marcus Smart, to have this team that's just really well put together around him. That was a game that despite Jason Tatum scoring, neither team hit 100. So this is kind of an old school NBA defensive battle. I agree with you though. I think that the pressure now kind of turns on the 76ers a little bit. Joel Embiid is nearly unstoppable for the Celtics. They threw some kind of a too big line at him with Robert Williams and Al Horford. That looks pretty good. I think they'll continue with that. I'll tell you, as a Celtics fan, I'm worried about Tyrese Maxey. I know he's a young guy, but man, if that guy gets going, he's kind of the X factor to them. Obviously, the X factor in the series would have to be James Harden because he's taken over games, hit some big shots to win them, and then disappeared altogether in others. But I just as a Celtics fan, I'll tell you who I don't want to have the ball is Tyrese Maxey, feeling good in the fourth quarter. The other thing is, again, Joel Embiid. Talk about again with the new era, the 3-point era, the mid-range shot, and how that's kind of faded away. Not for Joel Embiid. I mean, he is hitting a high percentage of mid-range shots. Of course, gets to the free throw line a lot, shoots around 85% there. That's why, I mean, and he's always going to have the edge in this series. In most series, he's the big, you're going to have the height advantage, and he just kind of wills his way there. So, I mean, it's been interesting as a Celtics fan, and I've watched 76ers basketball, but to kind of watch the series and be like, okay, that's how this guy gets 30 a night. My goodness.
Plain and simple. Let's step aside for just a second here. Bill and Bennett has a question about Husker baseball, so we'll talk about that, and then we'll send it back out to Warner Park with Nick Sainert in just a few minutes.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for DBAT Lincoln. Summer is quickly approaching, and there's no better way to spend your days than at DBAT Lincoln's summer camps for players 13 years and younger. Give your baseball or softball player the chance to improve their hitting, fielding, and base running skills from the best instructors in Lincoln. Sign up now because spots are limited, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, you will receive 20% off your entire enrollment. For more information or to sign up, call DBAT Lincoln at 402-882-3228 or visit their location 2 blocks south of Lincoln Southwest High School. DBAT Lincoln, developing beliefs, attitudes, and traditions on and off the field. Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
We're back here on 93.7 The Ticket. Austin Norman, Jake Bachhoven with you for just about another 5-7 minutes or so before we'll send you back out to Warner Park for Lincoln East and Bellevue West. Our own Nick Sainert on the call. To the text line we go. Notorious BIB asks, do you think the Huskers can get a couple wins from Penn State this weekend? At the very least, they need to, Bach, to stay in the hunt to get to Omaha. They're ahead of them. The Huskers are ahead of Penn State in the standings right now. Penn State is pretty much thoroughly average across the board. You would like to think Nebraska, being at home, can get a couple this weekend.
Yeah, you would hope so. Obviously, the last few against Penn State here, and then another series with Purdue to close it out. I'm very intrigued. Just kind of by where this baseball program is headed. I know Steve Sipple wrote in his article that the bare minimum for Nebraska should at least get to the Big Ten tournament, but especially when it's in Omaha. I mean, that's where the pressure's on you, and Nebraska could obviously use that crowd in Omaha, and the crowd differentiates quite a bit. I mean, as far as population and the draw to Omaha, whether Nebraska's in it or not. And I'll be honest, as a Nebraska baseball fan, you're kind of just holding your breath. It's not one of those situations where, you absolutely could believe this team. And they've done well in the Big Ten. It's been kind of those midweek games that have kind of bothered them so much. But it's a team that if you feel pretty good about the bats every night, but you might not get, it's tough to score 10 runs every game and win a game once in a while when that pops up. So we'll see. I mean, these teams ahead of them aren't great. So I think they should be able to, but like I said, you're probably not, I wouldn't bet the house on it.
6 games left. I think 4 is the expectation, right? Just win these next 2 series. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. I think they'd get you in.
Right now, Nebraska's at 10-8 in conference. They're a half game behind Iowa, who won that series against the Huskers in Iowa City. Nebraska, a game back of Rutgers, who is in 3rd place, 2 games back of Indiana in second, and 3 games back of Maryland. So still mathematically alive for the regular season crown, but that would involve a lot of losses from those previous 4 teams, and then a lot of wins by Nebraska. Probably have to go 5-1 or 6-0 to even have a shot at that. Tied with Nebraska, though, are Michigan and Purdue. All of those teams sit at 10 and 8, but Penn State, like I mentioned, below Nebraska. They're at 6 and 11 right now on the outside looking in of the Big Ten tournament. If you're looking at it now, it'd be Maryland, Indiana, Rutgers, Iowa is your top 4. Nebraska, Michigan, Purdue, and Michigan State would round out the field of 8 in Omaha. Illinois sits at 2 wins better than Michigan State, but 2 losses better as well. Minnesota, as bad as Minnesota has been, they're still ahead of Penn State just by a half a game. The Golden Gophers have 1 more win than the Nittany Lions do. So Penn State, again, still alive, still plenty to play for, but it'll be tough. Hopefully make it tough on Penn State coming on the road to Lincoln. A little bit of a schedule update for you for softball. Nebraska and Northwestern was scheduled originally for 7:30 tonight in Urbana-Champaign. Of course, Illinois hosting the tournament. That game has been moved up a few hours. So now first pitch between the Huskers and the Wildcats will be at 4:30. Nebraska's in, right? Somehow, some way, softball team's in the tournament?
Yeah. You feel pretty good about the softball team. So, yeah, I mean, just finish out strong. I think they're good to go.
That'll be tough. Northwestern, of course, a very solid program. I haven't talked a lot of football with you, Bach. We're post-spring by a couple weeks now, still waiting to hear exactly who is on and off the team, on and off scholarship, I suppose. What do you make of what you heard, just big picture from Matt Rule over the spring?
I kind of like it. Again, Nebraska is kind of the king of off-season championships, so you don't want to get kind of swept away. Matt Rule's really good at speaking, so it's kind of easy to do so. I found the spring game a little bit sloppy. At the same time, the first team, unit looked pretty good, I suppose. So, on offense and defense, whether that's getting the points that they needed to, maybe not finishing drives. Again, that's good for the defense. It was 1s versus 1s, so you can kind of take good there. But it's intriguing. I like the fact that the walk-ons, Nate Borkacher certainly looks like a guy that probably is going to be a prominent. You remember he's a redshirt freshman last year, so I mean he's got a lot of time left, a lot of school left. So hopefully scholarship can kind of help out there. A little bit surprised by the Bullock move. That's a name that I think Nebraska fans are going to have to get used to now with the expectations that from Matt Rule set of giving him a scholarship and saying he might be an NFL guy. I kind of like it. I like the movement of the program. I still kind of am fascinated with this Minnesota game. I know a lot of people are kind of overlooking it, looking at Colorado, but Nebraska is just a program that hasn't had a whole lot of momentum. And when you think about the last couple of coaches to get going, you don't necessarily expect the world in year one, but it certainly can help if you can get things going. Mike Riley lost, of course, on that Hail Mary, and that season, I don't say it never recovered, but it was. I mean, they made it in a bowl game with a losing record, so it wasn't great. And then of course Scott Frost, his first game, it's all
lost the weather,
well documented. Lost the weather, and if you count that loss, and they'd start 0-7, but they started 0-6. And that Colorado game among it. So I just like to see a great start. And Nebraska beating Minnesota again. I don't know. Minnesota's probably not going to be preseason ranked, but they've got questions of their own. PJ Fleck's got a 5-6 year head start wherever he's on in year whatever year he's in Minnesota for program consistency there. But they're losing their 6-year guys. I mean, they kept Mo Ibrahim and Tanner Morgan and those guys around for a long time. Got a lot of mileage out of them, so it's a little bit of adjustment for them there. And then, of course, included in the intrigue in that game is Nebraska held Minnesota like 37 yards in the first half last year and still ended up losing that game, shut them out in the first half. So, I mean, this was never a case of Nebraska isn't anywhere close to these mediocre Big Ten West teams. They just didn't end up winning. And so that's kind of my intrigue overall for Nebraska is as weird as it sounds for your 4-8 team, let's build off that 4-8 team, not burn it down and start back over and then, have to kind of reach there. But one thing that I'm really kind of interested in too is when people say, and I don't know what your prognostication is, but when I hear people say, yeah, this team will get 8 or 9 wins, I think that that's unfair for you to believe that, because if they get 8 or 9 wins, that should be more than celebrate, not an expectation. That should be celebrated because it would be quite an achievement. Yeah,
absolutely. Thanks for sitting in. We're going to go to break, send it back out to Warner Park with Nick Sainert, Lincoln East and Bellevue West on tap for Bach. I'm Austin. You'll be with Nick in just a few minutes.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
It's time for the Class A State Baseball Tournament on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. State baseball broadcasts are presented by the Carpe Diem team of Nebraska Realty, Independence Built, A1 Automotive, DBAT Lincoln, and DOT Highway Safety Office, and High Electric. Now, calling all the action, here's Nick Sainert.
Welcome back. Game 3 of 4 today. And so far, I mean, we're about an hour and 15 minutes ahead of schedule. And no rain so far. The sun peaked out just a little bit, but I did find out that we are in a tornado watch potentially. That's the murmur going around. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but did find out. So severe weather is sounding like it's on the horizon, but we still got enough good weather here so far to play a little bit of baseball. And now for the folks in the capital city, that especially the Lincoln East Spartan graduates, this one is the one that you've been waiting for. It's the number 2 seed, the Lincoln East Spartans, going up against the 7 seed, the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. I want to shout out all of our sponsors prior to starting this. A1 Automotive, the Carpe Diem team of Nebraska Realty, Independence Built, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, DBAT Lincoln, and High Electric. We got a good one. As I mentioned, the 2 seed, the Spartans, going up against the 7 seed, the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. And for the Spartans, who are wearing their home blue pinstripe uniforms, and they do look good out here at Warner Park, they will throw Carter Mick on the mound to start this game. The junior pitcher, 7-1 on the season, a 1.36 ERA, going up against the Bellevue West pitcher of Drew Grego. Drew Grego is a sophomore who is 4-3 on the year, but a sub-1 ERA, 0.93 earned run average on the bump for the Bellevue West Thunderbirds in Drew Grego. Let's talk more about the Spartans here. Since they are the home team, they are the 2 seed as well. They have a 27-4 record, and they were the district champions. They beat Grand Island 1-0 in the district final. It's just their 8th tournament appearance here in the Class A, but it's their back-to-back year. They have made it in 2 years in a row to the state tournament. They're coached by Michael Lanick. So once again, Nick Sainert joining you from Warner Park. Let's go ahead and pause 30 seconds for one more brief break, and we'll be right back with the starting lineup for the Bellevue West Thunderbirds right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
It's Lincoln East, the 2 seed, going up against the 7 seed, the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. And the Bellevue West Thunderbirds lineup will look like this. They'll actually have Drew Grego, who is their starting pitcher, lead off for them. Drew Grego, once again, just a sophomore for the T-Birds. He's hitting a lightning 409 at the plate. And get this, 4 home runs and 18 RBIs here in the 2023 season for the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. And so he steps into the box, slides some dirt out of the box, and we are ready to go from Warner for our third game of the day. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've had two really good ones. Millard ruled Grand Island in the first game of the day, 10-0. Then last game, it was a 3-1 Creighton Prep victory over Gretna. And now here we are underway. First pitch is low for a ball between the Spartans and the T-Birds. So Drew Grego checks in and is ready to go. And he takes ball one low from Carter Mick. Second pitch on the way, also low, 2-0. So we had just enough. We're having about 30 minutes or so in between each game. We're technically an hour and 15 minutes ahead of schedule right now because the initial plan was to go at 4 for this game to start at 4. And then late yesterday afternoon, they ended up moving up the game times an hour. So this one was supposed to start at 3, but instead first pitch was at 1:43 p.m. So on the 3-0 count, it's finally a strike from Carter Mick, the first one of the day, and it's 3-1 count to Drew Grego, the leadoff hitter for Bellevue West. Mick, the southpaw, lefty throwers, fires it home, and it's fouled back. 3-2 for Drew Grego. Three balls and 2 strikes, first batter of the game. Grego ready to go. Mick shakes off his catcher, now agrees with the sign, throws one. It's going to be a grounder to second base. It's bobbled, throws over, and it's not in time as Drew Grego beats it out. A bobble by the second baseman, Owen Lasig. And by the time he corralled that baseball, it was not enough time to get the speedy Grego at first base. And so that will go as an error officially on the second baseman, So an E4 in the official scorebook, and Grego is on first base. Next up, Nick Glantz, the second baseman for Bellevue West, pulls back the bunt and takes ball one low and away. Glantz, a right-handed hitter, facing the left-handed pitcher. Once again, similar to what I talked about in the first game of the day with the lefty pitcher. With the lefty pitcher, first runners at first base, got to be careful. Second pitch gets away from the catcher Worthley, and Grego, will advance to second base on the wild pitch. So 2-0 count for Nick Glantz. So 2 balls, no strikes to Nick Glantz, top of the first. Mick looks back at the runner at second base and throws ball 3 low and away. It's 3-0 count for for Carter Mick, as Nick Glantz has been able to act like he's going to bunt and then pull it back real quick. And every single pitch so far has been a ball. It's been a frustrating start for Carter Mick as through just 8 pitches, 6 of them have been balls. And the one time that the leadoff hitter, Drew Grego, connected with the baseball, it was an error on the second baseman, which allowed Grego to reach safely. So 3 balls, no strikes. A little bit of a meeting at the mound. As Coach Lanik will now trot back to the dugout. 3 balls, no strikes. The count to Nick Glantz, the 2-hole. On deck, number 13, Tyler Jeffis, the right fielder for Bellevue West. Mick comes set, looks back to second base, delivers, and that's ball 4 low and away for a base on balls. So now runners first and second with nobody out here in the top of the first, and Bellevue West trying to get on top of 2-seed Lincoln East here early on in the first inning. So Tyler Jeffis walks up to the right-handed batter's box, the right fielder in this one, the 3-hole hitter. 4 straight balls thrown by Carter Mick. We'll see if it's an automatic hold here by Jeffis. He swings at the first pitch. It's a breaking ball fielded by the shortstop. It is not in time at second base. Tried to get the force out. It wasn't hit all that hard, but it was in a really difficult spot. It was out of reach of the third baseman, number 14, Tanner Peterson. And then Senstock, the shortstop, had to work about 10 yards to his right to get that one. And by the time he fielded it and threw it to second, that was the only potential force out that he was going to get. And it was not in time to get the runner at second for the force out. That'll go as a hit. And so bases are loaded with nobody out, and the cleanup hitter, Nick Riggs, comes to the plate. Lefty on lefty matchup. Off-speed pitch finds the zone for a strike, 0-1. So bases are juiced here in the top of the first. Nobody out. 0-1 the count to the cleanup hitter, Nick Riggs. Getting the start at first base today against the Spartans. Swings and misses at a fastball down the heart of the plate for strike 2. Riggs hitting an even 300 on the season. Has 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. From the left side of the plate there. 0-2 count. Mick delivers. Almost hit him with the off speed, but it goes up and in instead. Ball 1. And honestly, Riggs somewhat ducked away from that one. I'm sure if he had that one back, he would have taken that for a hit by pitch and an RBI. 1-2 the count. Mick comes set from the stretch. Delivers. Breaking ball. Swing and a miss. Strikeout for Carter Mick, his first of the day. And that is out number 1 for the Lincoln East Spartans. So now up to the plate, it will be number 1, Tanner Hosick, the third baseman for Bellevue West. Hosick on the year, 309 hitter. No home runs, but 16 RBIs. And he's got another great opportunity here to add to that total with the bases loaded. Shallow center fielder. I should say all 3 outfielders are playing real shallow here. Swing and a miss at the first pitch from Carter Mick. It makes it 0-1. Mick comes set. Delivers. And that's strike 2 on the lower part of the zone with a fastball, 0-2. Carter Mick, once again, 7-1 on the season, a 1.36 earned run average as well, but in a little bit of trouble trying to get out of a jam on his own. He struck out the 4-hole, now has the 5-hole hitter down 0-2. Just up and away, ball 1. So bases are still loaded. Grego at third, Glance at second, and Jeffis for Bellevue West at first. The 5-hole hitter, Tanner Hosick, in the batter's box. Down in the count 1-2 with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Mick comes set, delivers. Low in the dirt, good block behind the dish by Jeter Worthley. And it evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 strikes, top of the first, 1 out. Mick delivers, foul ball, straight back into the press box. And we'll reset and do it one more time at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. So Mick, the left-handed pitcher, nobody's holding any of the runners on at their respective bases. Mick delivers, back foot slider, got him. Strikeout, second one of the day for Carter Mick. And they are 1 out away, they being Lincoln East, are 1 out away from, getting out of a bases loaded with nobody out situation. And for Bellevue West, Jackson Steele will come up to the plate and try to get some runs for Bellevue West here as the bases are still loaded, 2 outs. Mick comes set, looks towards the plate, fires, and that's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. On the season, Jackson Steele for Bellevue West, hitting .238, has 19 runs driven in. And there's 3 T-Birds out on the base paths waiting for him to add to his total. Mick delivers, ground ball fielded, thrown across the diamond by the third baseman. It is not in time. Plus, AJ Avasco over at first base, removed his foot off the bag. Michael Lanik rushes out to the dugout because he is not happy with that call. He is calling the first base umpire over. He called Zach Lutz, who is the first base umpire, to come to him. And Zach Lutz, the first base umpire, said, "No, I'm not walking to you. You come to me." And so now they're having a discussion at first base. And so what has to happen here is Coach Lanik has to ask the first base umpire to ask if the home plate umpire can confirm that AJ Avasco at first base pulled his foot off the bag, and that's what he's going to do. So Zach Lutz, the first base umpire, will ask Neil Hammond, the guy behind the dish, if he pulled his foot. And from my vantage point, he did pull his foot, so that is the right call by Zach Lutz. And Bellevue West gets on the board thanks to an error. So now bases will stay loaded. 1-0, Bellevue West with a lead up over number 2 seed Lincoln East. Coming in up to the plate, Colin Flores, the designated hitter. Mick fires home, swings, high fly ball, Senstock, the shortstop, under it, and he corrals it for the final out of the top of the first inning. So after a half inning of play, Bellevue West gets bodies on the base paths, and they get 1 run in the top of the first inning. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeling a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nick Sainert back with you from Warner Park. Bellevue West leads 1-0, and it's our first chance to check out the Lincoln East starting lineup. They will line up like this. Leading off, number 42, Jeter Worthy. Hitting second, Troy Peltz. Number 3, AJ Avasco. Hitting fourth in the cleanup spot, the designated hitter, Garrett Springer. Number 5, hitting fifth, the shortstop, Joey Senstock. Hitting sixth, the right fielder, Mason Gaines. Hitting seventh, the second baseman, Owen Lasig. Hitting eighth is Harrison Beester. And rounding out the starting lineup is number 14, the third baseman, Tanner Peterson. On the mound for the Bellevue West Thunderbirds, is Drew Grego. Holds a 4-3 record on the mound, but a sub-1 ERA, allowing .93 runs per appearance. So Jeter Worthy steps into the box, the catcher, wearing number 42. And here we go. First pitch from Grego is low for a ball, 1-0. Grego from the windup delivers low once again, 2-0. So in that first inning, in that top of the first inning, I should say, I mean, not a bad output if you are Bellevue West. You felt like you may have gotten to Carter Mick. You worked some good at-bats as the 2-0 pitch is hit towards the second baseman, bobbled, and Jeter Worthley will reach first base safely on an error. And so how about that through the first, I guess, 3 outs of this game? We have had 3 errors, 2 on the Spartans and 1 on the T-Birds, as you worry for Bellevue West. If they cannot make routine plays, this offense of Lincoln East may pick them apart. Drew Grego on the mound. He'll switch to throwing from the stretch now. Worthley gets his lead at first. Grego fires. It's going to be a base hit in the right field. Worthley rounding second. He's heading to third. The throw to third is going to be in time. What a play. What a throw from the right fielder for Bellevue West. Tyler Jeffis guns down the base runner from right field. And what an arm from the right fielder as he is able to launch that baseball from right field all the way to third base on a line. And Jeter Worthley is tagged out at third. And so it's set, but good job by the backdoor base runner, though, in Troy Peltz, who hit that ball, as he advanced to second on the throw from right field. But wow, what an absolute rocket of a throw from right field. So that will go down as a single, but advanced to second base on the throw for Troy Peltz. And so it's same situation, just with 1 out for A.J. Avasco. Avasco, the first baseman for the Lincoln East Spartans, a junior hitting .350 this season, has 2 home runs and 31 runs driven in. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Avasco, the left-handed hitter, tall body of A.J. Avasco. He hits it towards the second baseman. That one's fielded cleanly, thrown to first, and in time for out number 2. But Troy Peltz did advance to third base. That will go down as a 4-3 putout for out number 2, as A.J. Avasco is retired. And now coming up to the plate, the designated hitter, number 19, Garrett Springer. Springer, .361 this season in the cleanup spot as the DH. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Grego delivers, and that's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs for Bellevue West here in the bottom half of the first inning. Grego delivers, and that's a strike on the outside corner on a slider from Grego. And just like that, Garrett Springer is down. No balls and 2 strikes here as Lincoln East is trying to tie this one up in the bottom half of the first inning. Garrett Springer takes a breath in the box. Now Grego delivers, and that one is a little too far outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That may have been a little more of a waste pitch for Drew Grego. He had gotten Springer to fish at the 2 previous pitches, but not that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's strike 3, looking for Garrett Springer on the outside corner. And how about the Bellevue West Thunderbirds? They allowed a leadoff hit, off of an error. The leadoff batter of Jeter Worthley got on base, but then he was thrown out at third base after a Troy Peltz single to right field. And what looked to be the Spartans answering, they are shut down in the bottom half of the first. And we go to the second inning with the T-Birds up 1-0 here from Warner Park. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Top of the second here as we have a ground ball to the shortstop, and Senstock is able to throw it accurately over to the first base bag to AJ Avasco to retire the leadoff hitter of the second inning. That's Caden Allred. So Allred goes down in one pitch, one out on a 6-3 putout. And that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Jackson Frill, for Carter Mick, who trying to respond and bounce back after a little bit of a shaky start in that first inning where he allowed bases loaded and a run. He gets on top early to Frill, 0-1. The deliver, swing and a miss, 0-2. So Bellevue West leads 1-0 here in the top of the second. They are on offense, Carter Mick and the Spartans on defense. Mick fires home, just a little upstairs, 1-2. One ball, two strikes, one out. And that pitch is just a little outside to the right-handed hitter for Bellevue West, Jackson Frill. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now count is even. Mick ready to go once again. Fires, foul ball, straight back. We'll do it again. Mick gets that baseball back from the catcher, Jeter Worthley, and he is right up on the rubber and ready to go as soon as the batter steps into the box, trying to figure out and navigate some type of rhythm as Mick delivers. Off-speed pitch, got him swinging. High in the zone. It wasn't probably where Mick wanted it, but it did the job as Jackson Frill goes down swinging. That is Mick's 3rd strikeout of the day, and the Bellevue West Thunderbirds already go back to the top of their lineup where Drew Grego, who's also doing the pitching for the T-Birds, steps into the right-handed batter's box. He reached on an error to the second baseman just in the first inning. First pitch to Grego is a ball, low and in. Mick the 1-0. Just outside. 2-0. So a 2-0 count to a guy in Drew Grego who has been able to connect on a couple home runs this season, has 4 here in the 2023 campaign. He fouls that 2-0 fastball straight back, 2 balls and 1 strike. Winner of this game will advance to play the winner of our nightcap, I should say afternoon cap, as we are ahead of schedule as Grego hits a soft line drive. It's scooped by Senstock as Avasco has to pull his foot again on an errant throw by Joey Senstock. And Avasco is unable to apply the tag, and Grego is safe at first on the air, the second error of the day on Joey Senstock. And so, as I was saying, the winner of this game will face the winner of our final game of the day between Elkhorn South and Papillion La Vista South. That game to follow this one. So Grego at first, 2 outs here in the top of the second. First pitch fouled back, 0-1. Joey Senstock, just a sophomore for Lincoln East. is committed to play baseball at Nebraska, as the 0-1 pitch is fouled once again, 0-2. So Senstock, the shortstop, is committed to play at Nebraska. And then Jeter Worthley, the catcher, his brother plays at Nebraska, while Jeter is committed to Michigan. This one chopped to third base. The throw in time for the out, and that will do it for the top of the second inning as Nick Glantz is retired on a 5-3 ground out. At the end of the top of the second inning, your score stays the same. Bellevue West 1, Lincoln East 0. We'll be back right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for DBAT Lincoln. Summer is quickly approaching and there's no better way to spend your days than at DBAT Lincoln's summer camps for players 13 years and younger. Give your baseball or softball player the chance to improve their hitting, fielding, and base running skills from the best instructors in Lincoln. Sign up now because spots are limited, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, you will receive 20% off your entire enrollment. For more information or to sign up, call DBAT Lincoln at 402-882-3228 or visit their location 2 blocks south of Lincoln Southwest High School. DBAT Lincoln, developing beliefs, attitudes, and traditions on and off the field.
It's time for the bottom of the second inning. Lincoln East up to bat. They will send 5, 6, and 7 hitters up to the plate. Joey Senstock, Mason Gaines, and Owen Lasig will all step in here in the bottom of the second. Senstock, on the season hitting .337 with 2 home runs and 18 runs driven in. Batting from the right side of the plate. Drew Grego returns to the bump. After a pretty productive first inning, he got hit around just a little bit, but thanks to some spectacular defensive plays, they being Bellevue West, came out of that bottom of the first inning unscathed. And so with a 1-0 lead, Grego on the mound will face Joey Senstock. Senstock, the shortstop here today for the Lincoln East Spartans. He steps in, and we're ready to go here in the bottom of the second. Grego from the windup begins his motion and fires towards home plate, and it's low and inside for a ball. One ball, no strikes to Joey Senstock, the Nebraska baseball commit. He's had a little bit of a tough start here, this one defensively. 2 errors to his name. But only the second inning here for Joey Senstock. It's 2 balls, no strikes. And Grego takes a breath on the mound and gets going once again. 2-0. This one going to be muscled just over the shortstop's head for a base knock into left field. And Senstock is on first base with a single. So a good approach to the plate by Senstock. Took a 2-0 fastball from Grego and muscled it through the left side of the field. Good for a base knock. And Lincoln East picks up kind of where they left off in the last inning with a runner on first to begin things. Next up, Mason Gaines, the right fielder. Gaines hitting .329 this season. Grego checks the runner, throws, and paints that outside corner for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Mason Gaines. Grego has to pitch from the stretch here, obviously, with runners on, but now picks over to first, and back in time was Senstock, Bottom of the second inning, Bellevue West leads 1-0 over the 2-seed Lincoln East Spartans. Pick over to first once again is not in time, so safe. Back at the bag was Senstock. Bellevue West, the 7 seed, as they pick over one more time to Senstock. It's a little bit of a wild throw, but kept in the field of play, so Senstock could not advance. And Grego, if you're Bellevue West, you're allowing Senstock to really get in your head here while he's at first base. Grego takes a breath, delivers. And that's going to be a ball just outside. I think it could have been called a strike, but the catcher did not handle it cleanly, and it popped out of his glove. So obviously that's going to make it look a lot worse than it actually was. And so 1-1 is the count with no outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Senstock at first at the plate, Owen Lasig. The left-handed hitter versus the right-handed pitcher. Greco fires, and that one's fouled off to the left side, 1-2. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me all day long here, and thanks to the guys back in the studio, Rico, Austin, Bach, everybody for filling time as Grego delivers. That ball's bounced right back to Grego. He'll try to turn two, to second for one, to first for the double play. And just like that, as soon as they had something started, Bellevue West puts a stop to it with a nice little 1-4-3 double play. So Mason Gaines grounds into a double play on the 1-4-3 double play. And we have two outs here for Owen Lasig. And I apologize. I may have misspoke earlier when I said Owen Lasig was up to bat just a moment ago. It was Mason Gaines up to bat, and Owen Lasig is now at the plate. I apologize. So 0-1, make it 1-1 after a ball high and tight. So Grego, nice job staying composed on that ground ball, fielding it cleanly, number one. Number two, making an accurate throw to second, because especially at a venue like this, you look out to second and there's a lot of open field. This is obviously a bigger field than what a lot of these guys are used to playing on. So nice job by Grego and the rest of the T-Bird infield for making the necessary play. 1-2 pitch, high and inside, ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Owen Lasig, the second baseman for Lincoln East. Standing on the right side of the batter's box here. Bellevue West leads 1-0. The pitch. Low and inside, fought off to the right side, and we'll redo it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was more of a front door breaking ball that started, I suppose, at Lasig's hip, front hip, and it kind of cut in. And now on 2-2's pitch, we'll have a ground ball that's bounced to the left side, and it's foul. So once again, we'll replay it at 2-2. First pitch for this one was at 1:47 p.m. I mentioned at the start of the broadcast that we're about an hour and 15 minutes behind or ahead of schedule as Lasig watches strike 3 go by. And what a performance so far by Grego, as he's been able to work out of a jam a couple of times, and there he got his second strikeout of the day. After 2 innings of play, the 7 seed Bellevue West leads the 2 seed Lincoln East 1-0. We'll have the top of the third, starting the top of the third for the T-Birds will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. The heart of the order due up for the Thunderbirds coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeling a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954. Start of the third inning for Bellevue West as they will send the heart of the order to the plate. First up, the 3-hole, Tyler Jeffis, the right fielder. He singled back in the first inning against Carter Mick. And here he watches ball one go low and in, 1-0. I haven't been able to make it to Warner Park a whole lot recently, but man, if you get out here, number one, it's a beautiful sight. I mean, it's a great venue for a baseball game. Second of all, man, they got a chicken tender basket that is just phenomenal. Highly recommend the chicken tender basket. 1 ball, 2 strikes after Mick responds with 2 right down Broadway. So Jeffis is facing 1-2 count, reaches out, fouls it away, 1-2 again. One ball, 2 strikes to Tyler Jeffis, the right fielder, wearing number 13 for Bellevue West. The pitch from Mick, swing and a miss. Or excuse me, they're going to call it a foul ball. It did not sound like Jeffis nicked that one, but instead they're going to call it a foul ball, and we'll replay it at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carter Mick on the mound, 7-1 this year as a pitcher, as this one is going to be lunged at and reached out to, or popped out to second base, where it is corralled by the second baseman, Owen Lasig. Good for out number 1 as Mick is able to retire Tyler Jeffis on the fly out to the second baseman for the first out of the third inning. Brings up Nick Riggs. He struck out swinging back in the first inning. He was actually the first out of that first inning as Bellevue West loaded the bases with their first 3 hitters. And here he watches ball 1 up and away. So 1 ball, no strikes to Nick Riggs, the first baseman. Make it 1 ball and 1 strike as Riggs watches that one hit the outside corner. Good for a strike. The pitch fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Bellevue West, the 7 seed in this one, came in with a record of 18-10, while Lincoln East is at 27-4. The 1-2 pitch, low and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here in the top of the third. Carter Mick from the windup, fires home, and that one is way outside, ball 3. Carter Mick keeps kicking at the dirt on the mound. It's like he can't figure out, or somewhere wherever he's stepping with that lead foot, he's struggling to plant it or feel like he's got solid ground. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled right back. If there was no net, that was coming right at my face. We'll do it again, full count. So Nick Riggs at the plate. Once again, he struck out. He's 0 for 1. Struck out in the first inning. Here he's been able to work a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Mick throws another off speed. This one is plucked out to on the left side in foul territory, being chased down, and it will be unplayable for the combination of the left fielder, shortstop, and third baseman. And once again, that's one of those where on a normal high school field that these guys are used to playing in, they most of the time won't be able to play a ball that's hit like that. But with so much room in foul territory here at Warner, there's a lot more possibilities for popping out in foul ground. So 3 balls, 2 strikes once again for Nick Riggs. Lefty on lefty matchup, swing and a miss, as Carter Mick is able to win the battle between him and Riggs. And that is out number 2, as Nick Riggs is now 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Brings up the number 5 hitter, rather, Tanner Hosick. He also struck out in that first inning. The pitch from Mick, back foot, ball 1. Bellevue West leads Lincoln East 1-0 here. The fake bunt as Hosick pulls it back, takes called strike, 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike for Tanner Hosick. Mick delivers, and that's up and away, ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike. Hosick delivers, ground ball to third base, got plenty of time. Tanner Peterson gets the outs all the way from foul line to foul line as he throws it from the third base bag to AJ Avasco over there at first, and that will retire the Bellevue West portion of the third inning. No runs on no hits, nobody left on base. After 2.5 innings of play, it's 1-0 Bellevue West. We'll be back with the bottom of the third inning and Lincoln East up to bat right after this.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nick Sander back with you from Warner Park. One to 0. Bellevue West with the 1-run lead over Lincoln East. Here in the bottom of the third inning, it'll be 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Lincoln East. Harrison Beester, Tanner Peterson, and Jeter Worthley. So stepping in on the left side of the left-handed batter's box, Harrison Beester from Grego. The first pitch, outside, ball 1. One 0 count. Grego delivers. And that one hits the outside corner. Good for a strike, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike here in the bottom of the third to Harrison Beester. Grego fires. That one's just a little low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Forgot to mention the umpires here for this afternoon game. Behind the plate, Neil Hammond. At first base, Zach Lutz. At second base, Chris Frank. And third base, Joe Ryder. 2-1 pitch is just a little outside as well. 3 balls, 1 strike for Grego. As Harrison Beester it's a lefty versus righty matchup. Grego from the windup fires home, and that one's going to catch the outside corner. Good for a strike. And we're all full once again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Grego, 3-2, and ball 4 on the walk. So Harrison Beester draws the leadoff walk, and he will be at first base for the 9-hole hitter, Tanner Peterson, the third baseman, number 14. The last time that Lincoln East had a runner on first with nobody out, they hit into a double play. As this bunt is going to be caught by the pitcher, and now it's going to be another double play as the bunt is popped directly into the air Grego was able to catch it on the fly, and they double up Harrison Beester at first base to get the second out. So just like that, after Lincoln East almost had something going, they got a runner at first with nobody out. They can't execute a sacrifice bunt, and they have nobody on base with the top of the order and Jeter Worthley coming up to the plate. And he'll watch the first pitch go low and away for ball one. And so now here's the 1-0 pitch, low and in, ball two. So that's now multiple times today that we have seen teams fail to execute a simple sacrifice bunt as Worthley pushes this one into right field. It's a routine pop fly and corralled by the right fielder for out number 3. And that will signal the end of the third inning here at Warner Park. With your score, Bellevue West 1, Lincoln East 0, as we head to inning number 4 up here in Papillion La Vista. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for DBAT Lincoln. Summer is quickly approaching and there's no better way to spend your days than at DBAT Lincoln summer camps for players 13 years and younger. Give your baseball or softball player the chance to improve their hitting, fielding, and base running skills from the best instructors in Lincoln. Sign up now because spots are limited. And if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, you will receive 20% off your entire enrollment. For more information or to sign up, call DBAT Lincoln at 402-882-3228 or visit their location 2 blocks south of Lincoln Southwest High School. DBAT Lincoln, developing beliefs, attitudes, and traditions on and off the field.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Nick Sainert back with you from Warner Park here in Omaha. Shout out to our sponsors for making high school broadcast possible. A1 Automotive, the Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty, Independence Built, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, DBAT Lincoln, and High Electric. Top of the fourth inning for Bellevue West here. They will send their 6, 7, and 8 hitters up to the plate, and Jackson Steele will get us started here in the top of the fourth. Carter Mick goes back out to the rubber for his fourth inning of work. He's really reined it in and improved since that first inning where he loaded the bases in the first 3 batters, and he gets a called strike 1 here to begin the fourth. Jackson Steele reached on an error in that first inning. It was his contact that allowed the run to score in that first inning. Quickly down, no balls and 2 strikes. Here's Mick. And that's strike 3 on the outside corner. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night from Carter Mick to Jackson Steele as 3 quick pitches gives Carter Mick his 5th strikeout in 3 1/3. And so now Mick will face Colin Flores. Flores flied out to the shortstop in that first inning, and he takes strike 1 on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. 1 out here in the top of the fourth. And it's going to be a similar situation here. Grego's had a really strong performance so far, but it's going to be a similar situation as Mick delivers the 0-1, and that one floats in there for strike 2. But at some point, if you're Lincoln East in this situation, down by 1 run, and almost halfway through this game, you got to figure out some source of offense. As this one's fouled back 0-2. We'll do it again. That's the situation that kind of plagued Gretna earlier, is that they had a good performance on the mound, just couldn't get anything to go on the offensive side. This one's in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. One thing I will say, it's those little things like sacrifice bunts that where Lincoln East got doubled up on it in the last half and in the bottom of the third, as Mick is going to be just up and away for ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But it's those types of things where you can get a guy to second base with less than 2 outs rather than being doubled up and having no runners on with 2 outs. They're going to pay dividends in the long run here, as this one's grounded. Senstock from shortstop gets the throw over to Vasco at first base. Out number 2, as Colin Flores is retired on the 6-3 putout for out number 2. Brings up the number 8 hitter, Caden Allred. Allred grounded out to the shortstop back in the 2nd inning. Allred takes ball 1, low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Mick delivers. And that one's right down Broadway for a strike, 1-1. So Mick ready to work from the windup. He fires, and just up and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning between Lincoln East and Bellevue West. The winner faces the winner of our next game, as this one's poked into right center field. I'll tell you more about that as the center fielder ranges over and gets it for out number 3. The winner of this game, by the way, will play the winner of our next game between Elkhorn South and Papio South. But for now, that is the 3rd out and the end of the top of the 4th. With your score, Bellevue West still leading 1-0 over the Spartans. The Spartans will send Peltz, Vasco, and Springer, 2, 3, and 4 hitters up to the plate coming up after this in the bottom of the 4th on 93.7 The Ticket.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Despite the 10-0 run rule that we had in the first game of the day, we've had some really high-quality baseball games here between the last game with Creighton Prep and Gretna, and now this game between Bellevue West and Lincoln East. Some quick-moving games. We've been here for less than an hour, and we're already in the bottom of the 4th inning. As this first pitch from Grego finds the outside corner for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to the 2-hitter, Troy Peltz. 0-1, make it 0-2 on a fastball low and away, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes for Grego. And that's ball 1 on the 3rd pitch of the at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Troy Peltz, the left fielder. And that's strike 3 on the corner. Great job by the catcher for Bellevue West, Cole Madden, who is actually being DH'd for today. He was able to get his body around that fastball on the outside corner, made it appear like it was hitting the outside corner, and the umpire behind the home plate fell for it in Neil Hammond. And how about that? What a pitch, and a better job of receiving it by the catcher, Cole Madden, as that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. So Troy Peltz goes down looking for out number 1. And that brings up A.J. Avasco. Avasco takes ball 1. And now the 1-0 pitch takes high, ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes as Grego ready to deliver. That one's just low and outside. 3 balls and no strikes to the first baseman for Lincoln East, A.J. Avasco. Three balls, no strikes, and you have to be careful pitching to a guy like Avasco here, as he'll take strike 1 right down the heart of the plate. A.J. Avasco committed to play baseball at Kansas State after finishing out his time at Lincoln East. This one's hit towards the third baseman, bodied up, recovered, thrown across the diamond. Is inaccurate, but how about that by Nick Riggs, the first baseman for Bellevue West, able to apply the tag. The throw is high. It pulled him off the bag, but a great job by Riggs to still apply the tag to Avasco, and he is able to retire Avasco on the 5-3 putout for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. That ball was a rocket off the bat, but nice job by the third baseman for Bellevue West, Tanner Hosick, to be able to body that ball up and then recover quick enough to get the out, as Garrett Springer, the designated hitter, takes strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Grego delivers. That one fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes. Real quickly here on the cleanup hitter for Lincoln East, Garrett Springer. Bellevue West leads 1-0 over the 2 seed Lincoln East Spartans. Bellevue West, the 7 seed here in the opening round. Grego's 0-2 pitch outside, and they're going to say that he went around. That is strike 3, as Grego gets Garrett Springer to swing and miss at a slider way outside of the zone for out number 3 here in the bottom of the 4th. We head to the 5th inning of action, and we're heading to the 5th inning in less than an hour after we started this one. A fast-moving game here at Warner Park that sees Bellevue West leading Lincoln East 1-0, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for DBAT Lincoln. Summer is quickly approaching, and there's no better way to spend your days than at DBAT Lincoln summer camps for players 13 years and younger. Give your baseball or softball player the chance to improve their hitting, fielding, and base running skills from the best instructors in Lincoln. Sign up now because spots are limited, and if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, you will receive 20% off your entire enrollment. For more information or to sign up, call DBAT Lincoln at 402-882-3228 or visit their location 2 blocks south of Lincoln Southwest High School. DBAT Lincoln, developing beliefs, attitudes, and traditions on and off the field. Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeling a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954.
Carter Mick is back out there on the mound for Lincoln East, as this first pitch of the 5th inning is going to be skied out to left field and corralled by the left fielder for out number 1. So Jackson Frill flies out to left field for out number 1. And so 1 pitch, 1 out for Carter Mick here in the 5th inning. Mick with a really strong performance, especially after that first inning. And so he now faces the top of the Bellevue West order in Drew Grego. He takes strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Now that second pitch to the AB is fouled back. 0, no balls, and 2 strikes. One out here in the top of the 5th inning. That one up and away, no, or for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes here to Drew Grego, who's had a really impressive performance on the mound for Bellevue West. Now here trying to fight off a pitch and does so as that one goes foul. 1 ball, 2 strike once again. Been all zeros except for the one spot that Bellevue West put up a run in the first inning as this one goes low and inside. Ball 2 to Drew Grego. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And don't forget that run scored on an error as well. As Mick delivers on 2-2, ball upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Three-two pitch. Fouled off once again by Grego. And I didn't think we'd see it today, but we have a sky that's not filled with clouds. A little bit of blue and sunshine showing up over the top of Warner Park here as the 3-2 pitch once again is drove out to left field. That's going to fall down fair for a base hit. Grego around first. He's heading to second, and he'll walk into second base with a stand-up double as that one was driven down the left field line by the leadoff hitter Drew Grego on the 3-2 pitch. And just like that, Bellevue West has a guy in scoring position on the double from Grego. As the 2-hole hitter Nick Glantz, the second baseman, comes up. He is 0 for 1 today. He walked back in the first inning, ended up being stranded at third, and then in the second inning was hit a ground out to the third baseman. As now Michael Lanick will waltz out of the Spartan dugout, and we'll take a break as well. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this, right after, on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska
my goodness.
Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
All right, we're back here. Nick Glantz, the hitter for Bellevue West. The Thunderbirds are up 1-0. Drew Grego is on second base after he hit the 1-out double just a moment ago. Carter Mick on the mound. So now Mick looks back towards Grego's way and now fires at home where it's fouled off by Glantz. No balls, 1 strike. So 1-0 Bellevue West trying to add to their lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Nick Glantz, the hitter for Bellevue West. Carter Mick, the pitcher on the mound for Lincoln East. This one's low and in for ball 1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Left-handed pitcher in Carter Mick, the right-handed hitter in Nick Glantz for Bellevue West. The pitch swung on in the 5-6 hole. Senstock double pumps, won't have time, and Glantz is safe at first base. That will go as a hit on the play. Grego was unable to advance, so Bellevue West will have runners on first and second base here with 1 out in the top of the 5th. Tyler Jeffus steps in. He is 1 for 2 today. He singled back in the first inning and then flew out to the second baseman just 2 innings ago in the third. And so Jeffus steps in. He's a right-handed hitter as well. Mick takes a breath, working from the stretch. Comes set and delivers. This one swung on, skied high to center field. It's going to be a routine ball for the center fielder, Harrison Beester. And he collects it, and that's out number 2 here in the 5th. So a nice job by Carter Mick getting the contact on that one to just be routine. As now coming up to the plate is going to be Nick Riggs, the cleanup hitter, with 2 outs and a runner at first and a runner at second. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Riggs 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts against Carter Mick tonight, or this afternoon rather. Bellevue West leads 1-0. The first pitch of the AB is going to touch that outside corner. Good for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Nick Riggs. Mick has really slowed down his tempo here in the later innings. As he comes set, 0-1 pitch. Looks back at second base 3 separate times, and now Nick Riggs will call time from the batter's box. And just so we can all reset. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Bellevue West leads 1-0 over Lincoln East. The pitch from Mick. Swung at right in front of home plate. It is a fair ball. And wow, so now the third base umpire is going to say that the ball hit him in the box. The home plate umpire called it fair. So the home plate umpire called it a fair ball, but the third base umpire in Joe Ryder said that it hit Nick Riggs in the box, which causes it to be a foul ball. And so the third base umpire, ran in and said foul ball, and therefore we will see another pitch. So I believe it should be no balls and 2 strikes, and that's what it is. No balls, 2 strikes to Nick Riggs. And man, wouldn't it be something, unfortunately, for Lincoln East if Riggs is able to come up with a big-time hit here. No balls, 2 strikes. Carter Mick on the mound. It's a lefty-lefty matchup, and now Mick steps off. On the season, Nick Riggs hitting .300, 4 home runs. 0-2 pitch. Mick delivers. Low and outside, ball 1. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Although it's just a 1-run ball game, man, it feels like it's still got 3 innings left. This is a really big moment in the game. Carter Mick delivers on the 1-2, low and outside, ball 2. This feels just like a really big moment. And with how much time Carter Mick is taking on the mound in between pitches, not sure if it's fatigue or if it's trying to contain his adrenaline, because this is a big moment. 2-2 pitch. Off-speed grounded towards second base. Fielded, fired over to first for out number 3 on the 4. We'll do it for the Bellevue West side in the 5th inning. No runs on 2 hits. 2 people left on base for Bellevue West. We go to the bottom of the 5th, where Lincoln East will send 5, 6, and 7 hitters to the plate in Joey Senstock, Mason Gaines, and Owen Lasig coming up right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeline a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954. We move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Drew Grego still on the mound for Bellevue West. He came into this one with a 4-3 record and a sub-1 ERA, just allowing less than a run per start or per appearance rather, for Bellevue West. It is Joey Senstock to start things off. He singled back in the second inning. First pitch is going to be fouled back. He tried to drop a little bit of a push bunt down the first base line, but fouled it back. So no balls, one strike here on Joey Senstock. Senstock going to Nebraska. That's the plan. He graduates in 2025. This one roped through the left side. Good for a single. And Joey Senstock is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So now last time that this same exact thing happened, Mason Gaines came up and grounded into a double play on a 1-4-3 double play. So we'll see if he can avoid a similar result here in this AB. Mason Gaines, the right fielder. The pitch, grounded to the pitcher, throws it to second base for 1-2 first, not in time. Goodness sakes, it was almost deja vu as Mason Gaines grounds it to the pitcher for a fielder's choice. Joey Senstock is out on the force out at second base, and Mason Gaines barely reaches first on the fielder's choice. And so he will be the runner at first base now with 1 out. Owen Lasik comes up to the plate. The second baseman in this one, batting from the right side. Mason Gaines at first base. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. Bellevue West leads by 1 over the 2 seed Lincoln East. First pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. No balls, 1 strike here to Lasik. Gaines at first base. Grego, the pitch. This one's hit into left field. Routine fly ball. It's going to be hauled in by the left fielder and thrown in to force a retreat at first base for out number 2. Owen Lasik flies out to the left fielder, and that will bring up Harrison Beester, the center fielder. He walked in the third inning and then was doubled up on a bunt attempt while he got on base. So Beester officially 0 for 0 in the book with a walk. Grego the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Really good pitching duel on hand here between Carter Mick for Lincoln East and Drew Grego for Bellevue West. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. The pickoff to first, not in time, as Mason Gaines is able to scurry on back. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs here, bottom of the fifth inning. Grego lifts his leg and goes. The ball's in the dirt.
Recovery by the catcher, scooped at second, and it is out at second on the ball and dirt read. Mason Gaines attempted to swipe second base, and how about that recovery from the catcher, Cole Madden? As the ball was contained close enough, he was able to hop up and chuck it down second base, and they tag Mason Gaines out for the final out of inning number 5. We go to the 6th with Bellevue West still up by 1 right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeling a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nick Sander back with you as we head to the 6th inning. Bellevue West leads 1-0. Mick back out there as the first pitch of the 6th inning is popped up to the right side, and the right fielder will take control. Mason Gaines collects the first out of the 6th inning. Bellevue West sends 5, 6, and 7 up to the plate this inning. That was Tanner Hosick, who just popped out to the right fielder. So now up to bat, number 33, Jackson Steele. Jackson Steele, the shortstop in this one, takes the ball low and in, 1-0. Mick, 1-0 pitch, outside, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, one out here, top of the 6th inning. Carter Mick delivers. This one hit well out to center field. Center fielder ranging back and hauling it in is the center fielder, Harrison Beester. Nice piece of hitting there by number 33, Jackson Steele. Couldn't get it over the head of Beester, though. And 2 up and 2 down here in the 6th inning for Carter Mick. So once again, it's that same principle. You gotta find some offense for your pitcher here if you're Lincoln East, because what a gutsy performance from Carter Mick after what looked to be kind of a shaky start in that first inning, where you allow the bases loaded, you allow the first 3 batters to get on base. You manage to only hold Bellevue West to 1 run, as we have a 1-1 count here to the DH, Colin Flores, but you somehow managed to only allow 1 run, and now 5 innings later, you're still in the same spot, trailing 1-0 to the 7 seed Bell West. 1-1 pitch, up and away, 2 balls, 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. This one fouled straight back. Colin Flores, 0 for 2 today, flew out to the shortstop in the first inning and then grounded out to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And that will do it for the top of the 6th as they go 3 up, 3 down, and Lincoln East will somehow, some way try to figure out a way to chip into this deficit. They trail just 1-0 here in this one, as Bellevue West goes
fly out to the right fielder, fly out to the center fielder, and a swinging strikeout in the top half of the 6th inning. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Lincoln East is down to their final 6 outs. They trail 1-0 here in this one to the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. Lincoln East the 2 seed, while Bellevue West is the 7 seed. First pitch from Grego is up and away for a ball as, number 5, Harrison Beester starts things here in the bottom half of the 6th for the Spartans. The 1-0 pitch, low, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes. Bellevue West leads this one 1-0. That one's up and away, 3 balls and no strikes. Been a beautiful day so far here at Warner. 3 balls, no strikes. Greco, that's a strike, 3-1. This pitch or this game started at approximately 1:45 p.m. And so a quick moving ball game here. As the 3-1 pitch, low and away, ball 4, and Beester draws a leadoff walk. But as I was saying, this game between Bellevue West and Lincoln East wasn't supposed to begin or planned to begin until 3 p.m. today. So we technically were planning to just get started with this one if everything was perfectly on time, but instead we're about an hour and 15 minutes ahead of schedule as this bunt is laid down successfully, and it's a sack bunt as the third baseman is able to make the play, advances Beester to second base on the sack bunt by Tanner Peterson. So Beester advances on the sacrifice, and that brings up the top of the order and Michigan commit Jeter Worthley. He is 0 for 2. He reached on an error in the first inning and then flew out to right field in the third. This one going to be grounded onto the left side. And now it's going to be off the glove of the third baseman. And so runners are now at the corners. That will go down in my scorebook as a hit for Jeter Worthley. Beester advances to third on the hit, as that one hit off the glove of the third baseman, Tanner Hosick, and trickled into foul territory. And so now we're going to have a conversation at the mound with Bellevue West head coach Jason Shockey. And looks like they're going to make a change. So Shockey's going to make a change. Grego, who has been nothing short of phenomenal today, will walk off of Warner Park, where he's immediately greeted by teammates as soon as he crosses the foul line. And he will be responsible for the runners at first and third. And next up for the Spartans will be the number 2 hitter, Troy Peltz. The left fielder will come into, will face the new pitcher, and we'll tell you about him coming up in just 60 seconds right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
So a couple changes here for Bellevue West. Nick Riggs will be the new pitcher for Bellevue West. He is now the pitcher, so he moves from first base to pitcher. And now Colin Flores will no longer be the designated hitter, as number 11, Logan Toman, will come in and play first base. And so Toman will come in, play first base, and take over the DH spot in the lineup for Colin Flores for Bellevue West. And Nick Riggs takes the mound with runners on first and third. Those two runners are the responsibility of Grego. Or rather, I should say, yes, that's how it would be. The DH would be taken out as Logan Toman comes back in. Or checks in, rather, excuse me. So now, here's Griggs. 0-1 pitch, make it 0-2 on the swinging strike with one out here. One to 0, Bellevue West with a 1-run lead. Spartans on the doorstep. Grounder to second base. To second for one. It's an errant throw into right field. Worthy will advance. And that will force the Spartans to have runners at first and third after the error on the throw from the shortstop. Number 33, Jackson Steele, was 5 feet away from the bag and threw it into right field. And so the Spartans have tied it up at 1 run apiece. And next up, the Kansas State commit, AJ Avasco. So technically, that Troy Peltz grounder will be an error on the shortstop. However, Beaster, who was walked to start this inning, scores, and Jeter Worthley is now at third base. So Worthley at third, Troy Peltz at first, 1 out. 2-0 the count now to AJ Avasco. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out. And that's strike 1 on the outside corner to Avasco. Two balls, 1 strike, the pitch. This one's going to be hit into center field, and the Spartans have the lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. As Jeter Worthley comes around to score on the RBI from AJ Avasco. And so now, just like that,
the Bellevue West Thunderbirds will just have 3 outs to work with in the top of the 7th inning. But A.J. Vasco is able to hit a base knock up the middle of the field and bring home the go-ahead run in Jeter Worthley. Riggs, the pitch. Soft ground ball fielded by the third baseman, thrown across the diamond, is in time for an out at first. Both runners do advance, however. So Peltz will now go to third, and A.J. Avasco goes to second base on the fielder's choice by Springer. So 2 outs, just a 1-run ball game. Huge opportunity here for Nick Riggs and the Bellevue West T-Birds to just get out of this bottom of the 6th frame with minimal damage. They trail just 2-1, but a base hit changes this game dramatically as a strike 1 to Joey Senstock. A base hit here potentially scores 2 runs for Lincoln East and could inevitably blow this one open. But right now, as it stands, it's 0-1. Senstock fouls that one off, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Lincoln East, has just taken the lead 2-1. That one fouled off once again by Senstock. And we'll reset and do it once again at 0-2. Senstock in this one, 2 for 2. 2 singles, but both times he was then out at second on a force out. 0-2 pitch, low for a ball, 1-2. Mason Gaines, who has hit into a double play and then a fielder's choice, is standing on deck. 1-2 count, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Bellevue West trying to escape this frame with minimal damage as Nick Riggs, who came in for Grego, throws a pitch. Inside corner, strike 3. As the home plate umpire, Neil Hammond, rings Senstock up on a fastball on the inside corner for strike 3. And guess what? We go to the 7th inning with Lincoln East up by 1, 2-1. And Bellevue West has just 3 outs remaining, and Carter Mick is trotting to the mound for the Spartans. We'll get you ready for the final inning of play from Warner Park right after this.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Are you looking for a fresh office space or a new place to call home? Independence Built is who to call for all your new residential or commercial builds and remodels. Independence Built is in the process of building a brand new single-family or townhome development in Lincoln, while also in the process of a new walkout townhome development in Bennett. Don't wait. New lots and homes are available now through Independence Built. Give Ken and Dreeling a call today at 402-430-4954. That's 402-430-4954. Nick Sander back with you. Top of the 7th inning. Bellevue West down to their final 3 outs as for the first time, Logan Tamon will step into the batter's box. He pops this one high to the right side of Vasco under it, and he hauls it in for out number 1. 1 pitch and 1 out for the Spartans in the top of the 7th. They are 2 outs away from advancing to the winner's bracket game, which will be played on Monday at 7 p.m. And they will face the winner of our next game that will take place approximately 35 minutes after the conclusion of this one between Elkhorn South and Papillion La Vista South. So with 1 out here in the 7th inning,
Jackson Frill steps in, and he fouls the first pitch off to the right side, 0-1. Frill the 9-hole, then the lineup will turn over where Drew Grego will hit for Bellevue West. Mixed pitch, low and away, ball 1. So Carter Mick trying for another complete game here, up and away, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to the 9-hole hitter, Jackson Frill. Bellevue West Lincoln East leads by 1, 2-1. Bellevue West, however, until that bottom of the 6th inning, led the entire game 1-0. 2-1 pitch up high, 3 balls and 1 strike. Now the 3-1 from Mick. And that hits the outside corner for strike 2 as Frill started jogging towards first base. He thought it was ball 4, but then Neil Hammond, the home plate umpire, called him back. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Top of the 7th inning, Bellevue West down to their final 2 outs. Mick delivers. Strikeout, swing and a miss on the fastball upstairs. And there's 2 outs as Drew Grego now Drew Grego, the sophomore who came into this game hitting .409 with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. He is 1 for 3 tonight. He's reached on an error twice and doubled back in the 5th inning. Grego takes a backdoor slider for strike, 0-1. Grego standing in the right-hander's batter's box, takes fastball up, 1-1. Mick delivers. And just a little outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Grego started this game on the mound and then ran into a little bit of trouble in the bottom of the 6th. The 2-1 pitch fouled off of Grego, so evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bellevue West down to their final strike as Grego swung, and then that hit him on the inside knee, or inside part of his left knee, rather. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th. 2-1, Lincoln East with a 1-run lead. Mick from the windup delivers up and away, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Standing on deck is Nick Glantz. He walked in the 1st and then grounded out in the 2nd and hit a single in the 5th. 3-2 pitch. Low and in, ball 4, and Grego draws a walk. And so now Nick Glantz will step up to the plate after Grego draws the 7-pitch walk. And now Michael Lanick goes out to the mound, and I believe they will make a change. Yep, as Lanick takes the ball from Carter Mick, and he will trot off the field. He will be responsible for Grego at first base. But while the pitcher jogs on in from the bullpen out in center field, we'll take a break. We'll be back in 30 seconds on 93.7 The Ticket.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nick Sainer back with you from Warner Park as we are in the top of the 7th inning. And Coach Michael Lanick will call on number 13, Connor Johnson, the junior. He is 2-2 this season with a 2.25 earned run average. He comes in to try to get the final out of the ball game, but he'll have to face Nick Glantz, who is 1 for 2 today. He drew a walk back in the first inning, grounded out to the third baseman in inning number 2, and then hit a single in the 5th. Grego will be at first base. Another reason why I believe they probably made a change there, despite just being 1 out away, is this provides a righty-on-righty matchup for Lincoln East and number 13, Connor Johnson. As Nick Glantz is a right-handed batter, Carter Mick was a lefty, so this provides just a tougher look if you're a right-handed batter with a righty-righty matchup opposed to the righty-lefty matchup. So here we are. Fresh count, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Nick Glantz in the batter's box. The first pitch, low and away, ball 1. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Winner of this game gets the winner of our next game and our last game of the day between Elkhorn South and Papio South. The pitch, line down the left field line is going to be just foul. That could have been trouble for the Spartans. It was about a foot foul down the third base line, and wow, that could have been trouble because that was looking as it was trickling all the way to the wall. And Grego at first base was on his horse. So here we are. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nick Glantz. That one grounded to second base. Candy hop for the second baseman, and the Spartans are victorious. They come from behind with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to take game 1 for them in the state tournament as they defeat the 7 seed Bellevue West Thunderbirds 2-1 here at Warner Park. An impressive showing on the mound for Drew Grego, an even better showing for Carter Mick, who goes almost the entire distance, 6 2/3 with 1 run allowed. An excellent performance by both pitchers in this one, a true pitcher's duel, but ultimately the single by A.J. Avasco gave the Spartans the slight advantage in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bellevue West, as the 7 seed, they're a team to watch now in this state tournament because they almost did it. They were almost able to knock off the number 2 seed Spartans in this one, but ultimately, like I said, the A.J. Avasco single and then the trusty arm of Carter Mick got the job done for Coach Michael Lanick and the Lincoln East Spartans. The lone team from the capital city in Class A to make the state tournament is 1-0 here at the state tournament, so they will advance to Monday night's game at 7 p.m. and face the winner of Elkhorn South, who's the 3 seed, and the 6 seed, the Papio South Titans as well. We'll get you ready for that game in a little while, but for now, let's send it back to the studio. We have 1 game remaining until Monday here from Warner Park, and let's just hope the weather stays in our favor and we'll be able to get a full day of baseball in here at Warner Park. Nick Sainert saying so long for now. Your final score one more time. The Lincoln East Spartans 2 and the Bellevue West Thunderbirds 1. So long for now. We'll send it back to the studio. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for DBAT Lincoln. Summer is quickly approaching and there's no better way to spend your days than at DBAT Lincoln summer camps for players 13 years and younger. Give your baseball or softball player the chance to improve their hitting, fielding, and base running skills from the best instructors in Lincoln. Sign up now because spots are limited. And if you mention you heard this ad on 93.7 The Ticket, you will receive 20% off your entire enrollment. For more information or to sign up, call DBAT Lincoln at 402-882-3228 or visit their location
2 blocks south of Lincoln Southwest High School. DBAT Lincoln, developing beliefs, attitudes, and traditions on and off the field. Whether you're looking for a new place to call home or trying to sell your current home, you want to make it as easy as possible. So why not use a realtor that works harder so you don't have to? The Carpe Diem team at Nebraska Realty is your go-to realty team for all your residential and commercial needs. They pride themselves on working hard and making your life as easy as possible while educating you every step of the way. Contact the Carpe Diem team to seize your moment, whether it be buying, selling, building, investing, or even commercial real estate. Give them a call today at 402-429-8121.
Some kids worry about making the sports team. Others worry about where they'll sleep tonight. In Lincoln, 300 kids are in need of a safe and loving home. Cedars is here for them, but we do need your help. A gift to Cedars makes an immediate impact on Lincoln's kids. And on Give to Lincoln Day, your gift goes even further. I'm Jim Blue, president of the Cedars organization, and I'm asking you to go to givetolincoln.com to make your gift to Cedars and support Lincoln's kids today.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone again, and with me on the line, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda